What's up, guys? I am your host, Isac Guinea. Welcome to the Cougar Cast Season 4, Episode 3. I'm here with...
Olivia.
Gerardo.
And Youl.
And today we have a very, very special topic. So, guys, what was a couple days ago?
Independence
Day.
So, a couple days ago, all of Central America, including the best country, Guatemala, celebrated Independence Day. So, guys, what was special about Independence Day? What do you guys think was special? What did you do to celebrate it?
The food.
The food?
The food is
The
always
food is
good.
the food is
And
always
also the
good.
torches when they run around with the torches.
Yeah, Guatemalan Independence Day is the best.
My dog was barking like crazy because of the torches, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Should we explain what the torches are to anyone
You
who
should
doesn't
explain
know?
what the torches are.
Should
Olivia.
I should explain what the torches are?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, basically, you get a group of people, right? And you usually dress up in like Guatemalan colors, which is kind of light blue and white, and you have a torch like with fire on it, and you run. And people usually do it like on the streets and everything, but they like honk and they make like sound and everything. So it's kind of a big deal, and people do it like personal reasons. Sometimes churches do it, so it's a pretty big thing here.
Have you guys ever done it?
No.
No.
I
never
did it
done
once.
Wait,
It was
so
alright.
how long have you guys been here in Guatemala? Like, I know some of you aren't from here. You know, like how long have you guys been here?
I've been 15 years.
15 years?
All my life.
All your life? What about you?
I've been here for around 12, 13 years, something
Oh my
like that.
Gosh. Dang, you guys have been here like your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Gerardo?
I've been here in total like 8 years, I think. 8, yeah.
8 years.
Mhm.
Wait, so could you tell us like what your life was like? What'd you do?
Well, I was born here, so I'm a Guatemalan by birth. And then at age 6, I moved to the States. I lived in Chicago for 5 years. And then at 12, I came back to Guatemala. And I've been here ever since.
Dang, wait, was the transition from like Chicago to Guatemala or from Guatemala to Chicago like hard at all?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. I think the harder one was the transition from Chicago to Guatemala because I was older
Yeah.
back then as a
Yeah.
6-year-old. I think it was easier to just adjust. So yeah.
Sure.
Dang. What about you, Olivia? Do you have like any memory of what it was like to be in the States?
Well, I have a little bit, but there's like a few distinct things. But I was born in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I lived there for around 2 years. And then when my parents both felt called to missions, we moved to Honduras, and we were originally supposed to be stationed there. And so we did missionary work for around, I think, a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years. And we came to Guatemala to actually learn Spanish, so like we could improve our Spanish. But our family ended up feeling called more to stay, so we called more here. So we ended up staying here. So yeah, and we lived here ever
Oh
since.
wow. So you're you were that close to living in Honduras, like
That close.
that's cool.
Yep.
And
I like it here though.
How'd you end up here?
I was just born here.
You were just
Because
born here?
My dad's work, you know.
How did your family get here? Like, so your family worked here or what?
From what I know is that my dad came to Guatemala because of his work from Korea, and ever since
Like you never asked him?
You never asked. Us.
I've
So
been
did your parents come together, or did like
No,
your dad
my
and your mom
dad
here?
came first, and then later on, like 2 years later, my mom came.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And like
interesting.
what's the thing that you've enjoyed the most about living in Guatemala?
The people,
The
they're
people?
nice, and the food,
The food?
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
food.
What's your favorite food?
chuchitos.
Chuchitos?
Chuchitos.
Okay, what about you? Like what's been your favorite thing about living here?
I gotta say the food too.
The food?
The food.
But they got pretty good food in Chicago. I've heard.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Well, in my personal opinion, I do think Guatemala has better food than Chicago.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I heard the
There you
pizza's
go.
really good though.
The pizza is good.
Okay.
Isn't it like the deep dish?
The deep dish, yeah.
pizza? Ooh, that sounds really good.
Like
Yeah.
Olivia, what about you?
My favorite thing about living here, I'd say it's between the culture and the food. I love the food. I'm definitely a foodie, so I love that. But I think the culture here is really beautiful, just how welcoming everyone is and how social everyone is and how colorful, you know. I feel like there's just so much life here, and I really love that.
I think the best part is the culture. Like the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's nothing better, no one better, I'm not gonna lie, than Guatemalan people.
Wow.
Because Guatemala is a people that is so kind. They're so welcoming. You'll stop laughing. They're so welcoming. They're so kind. they let you even into their home when they don't even have that
Oh,
much
yeah.
to give.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible. I think that's easily the best part of Guatemala.
Oh yeah, I mean they're so welcoming. Like you said, like they'll let you into your house. Like they will cook for you right there if you're there. I mean they'll give you whatever they have, no matter
Yeah.
what their standing
Yeah.
is. You know, so they're super welcoming.
Yeah, like I've been to houses that like have a dirt floor and they still want to give you something to
Oh,
take
yeah.
home. So that
100%.
Guatemalan people, amazing.
They're so nice.
Yeah,
They're super nice.
for any viewers, Guatemala, best people. I'm just saying.
For sure.
So, guys, how has Guatemalan culture affected your teenage years? Because I know, like, the teenage years are some of the most important in one's life, where a lot of important decisions happen. How has Guatemala and the culture affected your teenage years?
Well, for me, my parents, my mom, obviously, her whole life, she's lived in Guatemala. So from a very young age, she taught me just to be a very kind person. And she learned it from the people.
Yeah.
I think that for sure I would say the same thing. People like the culture here, obviously, as we're talking about, is very caring.
Yeah.
And I think that has really allowed me in my teenage years to stay that way and be a very like kind and caring person and really apply that to my own life. And see how I can be welcoming with others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine is similar as Jerry.
Similar?
Also. Yeah, like being
And
more nice.
yeah, I think one of the things that's really impacted me about Guatemala in my teen years is the ability to just go to church like often and without restrictions. It's amazing the liberty that we're given here.
Yeah.
Because as teenagers, there's a lot of bad things we could be doing,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of churches with good activities that let us replace those bad things with fruitful things. So I think that's one way Guatemala can really impact your growth as a teenager. I don't know what you guys think. Like,
Yeah.
I would
for
say
sure.
so. It's a very, spiritual place here. I would say in Guatemala, there's a lot of, I do see a lot of Christianity. And so I think that through that, there's a lot of opportunities for us as teenagers to be involved with ministry and with church and to do that openly.
yeah, absolutely. And here at CAG, it's easy to live out your Christian life as a teenager to build good foundation and have deep roots in these crucial years of our life. Yeah, for sure.
100%. Are you guys involved with like any youth group at your guys' church by any chance?
At the moment, no, not currently.
Well, I am, but I don't really go to church Saturdays because like our Korean church like has youth group on Saturdays, but like Saturdays I don't. Sundays I do go to church.
Sounds
Yeah.
sinful. No, I'm kidding.
But
Do you
no,
guys?
yeah, I'm involved in a youth group. I go to Union Church. They have like youth stuff there, but honestly, I'm more involved with the youth at Access Church, just because I know more people there. But I kind of go between both. Since the Union does stuff like on Sundays, I'll go to that sometimes. But I would say I'm pretty involved in the youth group here. What about you, Isaac?
I practically, I think I spend a lot of, I practically live at my church at this point, because I'm in a lot of groups, so I have to show up a lot in between the week, like a bunch of weekdays. But it's so fun. I love the people at my church. The community is amazing, so I have nothing to complain about there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
sure, that's great.
And Youl, so.
Yeah.
Since you've grown up here your whole life,
Yes.
like you've been born here, everything is Guatemala.
Yeah.
How do you balance that with your Korean culture?
Okay, so honestly, I don't know if I am balancing because my parents are basically Koreans, and like in my house, I just basically act like a Korean. But if you see the Guatemalan culture, the people are nice, but comparing that to the Korean culture, since I've gone to Korea during the summer, you can see like how the people are like quiet. They're not that social. So I think I'm a bit more social than normal Koreans. So
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool. I can see how that could be difficult though, like
Yeah.
to be in between two cultures, because everything in what you do is Korean, but you live in Guatemala.
Yeah.
So when you go over there, you're a little different too,
Yeah.
That's
a lot
cool.
of people look at me like I'm weird.
Yeah?
When I go to Korea. Yeah.
What's one of like the biggest differences between like Guatemalan culture and like Korean culture?
Like in Guatemala, if you see someone that you don't know, like they still say hi. They give you like cheek, whatever that thing is. But like in Korea, if they
I think you mean a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in Korea, if you say hi to someone you don't know, they think you're just a weird person.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So Olivia, your case is a little different than Youl's because you're an MK. So and he's a business family. So how has that affected your life, being an MK in Guatemala and a different country?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like we've talked about, the culture is very different. And so I think one of the biggest things for me is it's helped me not be as materialistic. I find that in the States, it's really common to look forward to the next best thing, and everyone's always wanting more. But I find that people here are like super thankful for what they do have, whether that be, I mean, there's people out in like the villages that we work at who are super happy and content with living in like small shacks and not having that much stuff, And so it makes me appreciate what I have a lot more, and it's taught me how to be thankful, even when I don't have everything that I want. And so that's how I would say it's really shaped my life for the better. And it's just very different here. Obviously, the culture, the weather here is different than the States. And so it's definitely shaped me just to be a different person. But I really couldn't have asked for it to be any better. I really enjoy it here.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the biggest differences between Guatemalan and American culture because Guatemala has a huge poverty percentage. And I've been to villages from like doing mission work that like they're not just poor, they have nothing. Like they have nothing. And they're so generous to try to give you what little they have. If they have a bottle of lukewarm Coke, they want you to have a little bit just to share the experience with you, just because they're thankful that you're there. And when I've worked with teams, they get surprised at how like they're like, these were American kids. They would have been like complaining the whole time because, but
for sure,
the kids here are so, and adults here also are so thankful about everything.
And they're very empathetic too.
Yeah.
Whether you're better off than them or not, they still, they're always trying to find a way to make you smile and to make you happy, even if they don't have a lot.
Yeah,
it's really beautiful.
Really, really amazing, and I can see how that could impact the way you live your life for sure. And Gerardo, what about you? So we've already talked a little bit about the culture change between Chicago and here, but what specifically did you notice about how your life changed? About maybe your way of acting or what else?
Well, one notice I noticed in schools between the American system and the Guatemalan system was that in the States, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. While more here, teachers, you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Yeah.
So that's a change between the teachers, the Guatemalan teachers, and the American teachers I've noticed.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Yeah. And what about like, did you go to public school?
In the States, yeah.
Yeah. So how is like the attitude of the kids there different than here at CAG specifically?
Well, let me see if I remember, but the area where I lived, it was a really good public school because the area I lived, there were a lot of rich kids. So just looking at them, but differences, we were all children and young. We just wanted to play.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so we're all in our teen years. We're in our more advanced teen years, yeah? Except, I don't know how old you guys are.
I'm 17.
17? 17?
I'm 14.
15. Okay, so some of us, you're a senior.
Yep.
You're graduating in a couple months. I'm a junior.
I'm a freshman.
Sophomore.
So we're all in the latter half of our secondary. How does living in Guatemala and the culture present any challenges to our Christian faith?
It's our Christian faith.
Like any personal examples that you guys have? I have a couple because I think Guatemala is a place where people like to get drunk a lot. I don't know if that's pretty harsh to say, but it's accurate. I have friends that have gotten drunk since they were 13 or 14. I don't know if you guys have any experiences.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the teen culture here is definitely based around, going out, having fun. You only live once, and so you might as well, spend it partying. I saw a lot of that, especially when I lived in Antigua. And so it definitely poses, challenges to your faith because you're having to decide between, your faith and what you find, or maybe you don't find fun. And so it really teaches you about who you need to be surrounding yourself with, because it really impacts you and your faith. And just you as a person, it really shapes you, who you decide your community is going to be and who is going to let influence you.
Yeah, for sure.
A personal challenge for me is like speaking the language. It's Spanish for me personally is very hard. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think speaking on language, a lot of people our age are very fond of profanities when they speak. They say a lot of curse words. So I don't know. Do you guys struggle? You play soccer, so I know like people get heated playing soccer. So do you ever struggle to keep your language clean with that too?
Yeah. For example, if I like when you're playing and then like you start fighting, you wanna like say bad words to others, but like you have to be able to self-control. So yeah.
Yeah. And what about you?
Well, when it comes to like saying bad words, I think in general I'm good at controlling myself even when I'm playing basketball, and I think that comes from my household. And because in my house, if my mom ever caught me saying anything, I would.
Chancleta.
El cincho.
So I think I got that from that, and it helped me.
Oh yeah. And although Guatemala is a place where we have religious freedom, like the government allows us to do whatever we want. But there's always people who want to knock us down in our faith. They always want to trample over us and make our walk in the faith, like they want to make us fall, yeah, either intentionally or unintentionally. So it's up to us to continue to fight the fight and choose to fit in either with the world or in the kingdom of God. So there are challenges here. Thankfully, the challenges aren't that we're going to get stoned. It's more about am I gonna fit in or not? Yeah.
I think that this isn't exactly what the question was asking, but as a missionary kid personally, something that I found that how that's challenged my faith is that it's very easy to find people who are from the church who put you on a pedestal. They think that you're a missionary kid, and so they think wow, you must have this incredible faith. But that's not always the truth. I have the same faith as you do. I still struggle with sin. I'm not somehow better than you or have more spiritual insight just because I'm a missionary kid. And so that's something that I found that I've struggled with personally in my faith through being a missionary kid.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know if anyone here is a pastor's kid. Oh, you're a pastor's. Are you?
I mean, not
sort
really
of.
sort of, más o menos.
But yeah, that's something very common struggle I've heard of among missionary and pastors' kids, that they just have these great expectations that everyone expects them to fulfill since they're like 12 or younger. They're like, you got to be a saint by then,
Oh yeah, you have like teams coming down from like the States, and there's like adults being like, wow, you must be like so incredible. You have like the whole Bible memorized.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not how that works. But no, it is a really common struggle that with pastor kids and missionary kids. But I think once you see past that, and you kind of understand that you don't have to have some great faith just because you're a missionary kid, I think it's really important to realize that, because it's not healthy to expect yourself to be perfect. We're humans. We have a sinful nature.
You can't expect to be the Apostle Paul when you're like 12. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what's some struggles for us as teens to live out our faith, to put it into practice in this country? For example, in evangelizing and being a good testimony, what's some struggles that you have faced or do you think you will face here in Guatemala?
Well, a struggle, not it's just as a Christian personally, balancing school and my basketball. Sometimes I come home after games and I'm tired. I have to do my homework, and even after doing that homework, when I just want to go to bed, just finding that time to just open the Bible and read a chapter or two, I think that's really difficult for me.
Definitely.
I think that because Guatemala is such like a spiritual and religious place, that it's so easy to find people who will say that they're Christians and will say that they have faith. And so, you won't feel as led to maybe spread the gospel with them. But the truth is that some of those people are the ones who need to hear it the most because they're not actually acting on their faith. A lot of people here grow up in the church, but they don't know what it's like to have an actual relationship with the Lord. And so you really have to work with that, and that can be difficult to deal with, to be surrounded by people who say they have faith, even though they don't necessarily do.
Oh yeah, that's a very big issue that we have here with evangelizing. It's pretty difficult. What about Youl?
Personally, I think it's also similar as Jerry. Like after school, you do all your homework, you study, and you get tired, obviously. So you want to sleep, but then you have the time where you can read the Bible and have your personal time with God. But like it's your choice. So
Yeah,
that's something I
Definitely.
struggle.
it's hard, but you must make the time. Like
sure.
If your homework is overtaking your personal devotional time, you stop doing homework, do some devotional, and then get back to your homework.
Yeah.
Even if it means staying up a little bit later than usual. But it's something you must do so your faith doesn't dry out, because we don't want that to happen. And I think Olivia also made a big point with the evangelism thing. Have you guys ever gone out and done that ever with a team or anything?
Not me.
I think it's very difficult because the gospel isn't a new message for a lot of people.
For sure.
It's something that they've heard since they were kids, and when you present it to them, it's like, oh yeah, Jesus. I love that
Yeah.
guy. I go to church on on Christmas and on Easter, but it's hard to present it to them because they think they know it already, and they're not very open to listening to it.
And, it gets to a point where you can't teach a relationship to someone. That's something that in the end, that's a decision that they have to make on their own. And so that's why it becomes so much more difficult. There's so much help, only so much helping you can do. There's only so much advice you can give. But in the end, it is their personal decision, and you can make that for them.
Yeah. And another struggle that we have here is the poverty, as I mentioned. When you go out and evangelize, you can't just go and tell the message of Jesus without bringing them something physical. Do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
No, yeah, it's important that to bring them not only with their spiritual needs but also their physical needs. I think that's also something that we need to do as Christians.
Yeah, I think that's something we often sadly neglect. We just see the spiritual need. We don't see the physical needs, because we see in James chapter 2 when the Apostle Paul is talking about that faith without works is dead. He says, if you see your brother cold on the street and he doesn't have clothes, and you have the clothes, and you just say, hey, peace be with you, it doesn't help him.
Yeah.
So if you just tell a person, hey, I'll pray for you, and they're starving, and you have money to buy them food, it won't do them any good.
And it always doesn't give missionaries or Christians a good, it doesn't make them view them any better when, if you just call someone, say, I'm going to pray for you, especially when you get people who are like, I'm going to pray that he's going to heal you, that he's going to give you this, but you don't actually do it for them. Whether they see results or not, that can really impact their view on the Lord. And it can develop negative relationships and negative views towards God. And so there's so much of a physical need here that it's really important to help people in that area. Especially since a lot of most of us are a lot more blessed than they are.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's so many people that work so many hard, long hours under the sun. Maybe sometimes we could just buy them a Gatorade, a cold water. Maybe they'll see the fruit in us and glorify our Father in heaven because of what we give them just by meeting their physical needs every now and then. It shows a good testimony, because like Olivia was saying, if we just say, hey, I'm going to pray for you that God heals you, but we don't do anything about it, it won't profit, Okay. So I think that was that's one of the most important things to live out our faith.
Sure.
So do you guys have any final opinions about that?
No.
No? So finally, Olivia, do you want to conclude with one last question?
Yeah. So we ask this at the end of every episodes to guests usually, but today, since we don't have one guest, what are some ways that we can be praying for Guatemala in general? How can we be praying? How can the audience be praying?
I personally think we can pray for the government so that they can do good for the country and help. You know, like there's villages that need help and need construction because they don't have the money.
I think, especially in these times, we can help with just the violence that's going on in this country. There's still a lot of it, so we can just pray that it can get better.
I think for people to encounter Christ truly.
I would say for the poverty here, because there's so much of it and it impacts people in such a great way that that's something that we really need to be praying for here in Guatemala for aid.
Yeah. I'm really thankful to have grown up in Guatemala. I think it's a wonderful country.
I am too.
Yeah. It's amazing. So we're going to read one last verse to close off the episode. How about Youl, you do us the honor to read the verse?
All right, I'll read. The Bible verse is Galatians 5:13. It says, "You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love."
What do you guys think of that?
I think it's saying that we should use our freedom wisely, and we should not just waste it. God has given us the freedom, and we need to use it for His glory, and we shouldn't just waste that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Nothing?
No.
Olivia?
I would say he basically said what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I agree. Do you have any thoughts?
Basically, yeah, it's what he said. Our freedom isn't a permission to sin. It's a permission to do good works. It's exhortation to help humbly serve our brothers and sisters as Christ served here on earth. So, yeah. So
100%.
thank you guys for tuning in. And we celebrate Guatemala and we thank God for this country and all the glory be to Him. Tune into the next episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.